Hello, well, good morning. Today I want to talk to you about renewal. As we're finishing the 7 habits of Stephen Covey, well, today we are arriving precisely to the 7th habit, which he calls Sharpen the Saw. And what he's talking about here is renewal, because we all need renewal. So we have the different habits, and we have the habits of personal victory, the first 3 habits, then we have the habits of public victory, which are habits 4, 5, and 6. But now we have habit 7. And so, what's the reasoning behind this? How do we understand this? Well, Stephen Covey is talking about the ways that we can become truly effective leaders, how we can really make an impact in society. And so there's habits as far as getting control of ourselves, and there's habits in our dealings with others. But then we have to make sure that that's sustainable. One of the things that always piqued my curiosity when I was a child and interested in science was the idea of a machine of perpetual motion. And the idea here was that you would have a machine that you were able to set it up, and then once you got it moving, it would always continue to move. And this was something that a lot of people were very excited about. It's something that they wanted to have happen, and they would put a lot of effort into it. Now, the thing about a perpetual motion machine is that it's impossible, right? It can't happen. Because why? You have friction. And in friction, I think that's kind of the key to understanding this habit, because we all will have friction in our lives. So we need to find ways to renew ourselves. It's not enough to just set up your program, set up your plan, start to execute, and then that's just going to be the way it is for the rest of your life. No, we all need moments where we kind of come into ourselves and are able to renew ourselves. And that's like, changing the oil on your car. That's not optional, right? It's something that has to happen. Otherwise, the car will get to a point where it needs a major overhaul. Well, the same with us. We have to learn to kind of change our oil to maintain ourselves, because otherwise we too are at risk of needing a major overhaul somewhere down the line. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but we know that eventually we won't be able to maintain, especially when we have a high pace lifestyle, right? We need to find ways to renew ourselves. And there's basically 4 areas where this has to happen. One is mental area, and that's making sure that our mind is sharp. When we're going through school and college and whatnot, it's kind of automatic, right? Because we have homework, we have to read books, but then, maybe we get into our professional lives and things are a little bit different. Or we can be tempted to just kind of live on the fruits of what we already know in the past. But that leads us to be stale. One of the reasons even why I'm running this channel is that it's a way to challenge myself to make sure that I'm coming up with new content, that I'm writing, that I'm creating, and that's something that I appreciate quite a bit. Personally, I'm also studying a master's in psychology now, so there's different ways to keep that mental area going and making sure that that's really is getting renewed. So what are you doing for your mental area? Then we also have our social, emotional life, right? Man, Aristotle says, is a social animal. So we need to dedicate time to being with others. There's different personality types. Some people are more gregarious, other people seem to be a little bit more loners, but we all need to share with others. And we all have emotional needs as well. And so the entering into relationships with others helps to feed that. And this is something we should be scheduling into our week always, to have that time to share with others, to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and those around us emotionally. Then we can also think about our physical well-being, right? And so here we have exercise, we have nutrition, even sleep. These are things that we have to take care of. And I think for a lot of us, these are areas where it's really easy to try to take shortcuts, where you can think, well, yeah, I don't really need to sleep that much, or you know what, I'm just going to grab this garbage to eat. And as our age increases, we start to realize more and more that's not such a great idea. And nevertheless, we can continue to make those bad decisions. But shortcuts never work. I remember in the novitiate when I was in Germany, we were on vacation, and one of the brothers was famous for loving shortcuts. And so once I was on a hike with him, and we were coming back towards the house, and time was a little tight, and he said, "Hey, I think we can take this shortcut." And there was the path that we all knew to go back to the house, which we had to turn off to the left, but then there was this path going straight, and it would seem that would be a shorter path if it made it all the way back to the house. So we said, okay, that's fine. We'll go with you. We'll follow your path. And we start going and going and going and going until the path disappears, right? It only goes so far. We're like, oh no. So, and we were on the wrong side of the river. So we had to run back to where the bridge was, go around, and then, finally we were able to make it back. I don't remember if we were late or not, but in any case, it was a lot harder than it would have been if we would have just followed the path, right? Shortcuts very seldom are able to work. And then the fourth area is a spiritual renewal as well. And this is where we can integrate a relationship with God and how that can be part of the way that we're renewing ourselves, even in our daily professional lives, because we need that time with God, right? And we need that way to renew ourselves. And then at a more human level, we can even think about something like clarifying our goals, looking at our vision, kind of reviewing our programs. Taking those moments of pause, of reflection, well, that can help tremendously. What's the danger if we don't do this? Well, in the last few years, we've probably all heard about the phenomenon of burnout, and that's when, due to just kind of the daily grind, you can lose all motivation, right? And sometimes it can feel like it comes on very quickly. Well, that happens when we're not truly renewing ourselves, right? And so, if we want to avoid that type of a situation, well, we want to make sure that we keep working on our renewal. And in that, it comes back to the same things always. Make sure that we have our physical well-being, our mind, our mental well-being, our social and emotional well-being, and our spiritual well-being. So hopefully that's helpful for you. I have a few takeaways as well from reading this book. This kind of concludes this series, and I hope that is helpful for you, and I look forward to your comments or shoot me a message. God bless. Have a great day.